I'm Sammy Ferber, the DM and creator of Drachme and Demigods, a new D&D 5th edition actual play channel set in my homebrew, Greek-inspired world of Gaia. Now, the stream is starting at the end of the first major arc of the campaign, so there are some plot details you might want to know so that you don't get lost when you watch our show. So, here's what you've missed in the Links of Tartarus. A miner in the small Athenian town of Looms discovered a mysterious, powerful artifact deep underground. The artifact, it turns out, was the Links of Tartarus, the powerful magical prisons of the Titans, created by the gods that helped them win the Divine War and take control of the universe. But the Links were supposed to be deep in a pit, far beneath the underworld, protected by Hades himself. So, how did they turn up in a mine in Looms? Nobody knows. But the governor of Looms decided to display the Links for a while before eventually sending them on a caravan all the way through the Athenian alliance until presenting them at the feet of King Theseus himself down in Athens. People came from all over Gaia to see the Links of Tartarus in Looms. Most just wanted to see the handiwork of the gods with their own two eyes. But there were whispers of some more nefarious reasons to come to Looms. It is believed, after all, that the Titans themselves are stuck in those magical rings, and if someone could figure out how to channel their power, that could be a big deal. Enter our heroes. The day before the Links are set to begin their long journey to Athens, 4 men find themselves sitting at the local inn and tavern. There's Adagio, the cleric of Apollo, with golden curls of hair and an optimistic outlook on life. There's Ryujin, the eye-patch-wearing warlock with powerful, ocean-based magic. There's Alexios, the excitable man with a million ideas for inventions and augmentations. And there's Lathos, the pale, rough barbarian with an ironclad moral code. They meet in this tavern and become friendly with each other before 2 emergencies happen simultaneously on complete opposite ends of town. Bandits have broken into the home of Ariadne, the famed Loomstress, and monsters are attacking the city square. Our heroes can't be in 2 places at once, so they decide to go stop the bandits and let the local town's guard kill the monsters. And they succeed. The boys stop the bandits, but discover that the people they were fighting are not older than any teenagers, and Ariadne herself is nowhere to be found. That is, until they discover Ariadne has been transformed into a giant spider and is currently trying to eat some of the bandits that she's caught in her web. Our heroes stop the spider, manage to save one of the bandits, who told them that she belonged to a small group called the Defenders of the Balance, a Robin Hood-esque cult of the minor goddess Nemesis. She said they'd been tipped off about this house from a mysterious, silent figure wearing a green cloak, a figure they had begun calling the Hooded Mute. Armed with this knowledge, our heroes raced to the other side of town, but before they got there, they discovered that disaster had struck again. While all the guards were distracted elsewhere, the Links of Tartarus had been stolen. The group discovers that the Links had been stolen by a giant horde of undead creatures who had taken off into the nearby forest of Artemis. Our heroes followed and quickly discovered the truth about their traveling companions, for these were no mere human men they were with. Adagio was the son of Apollo, Ryujin, the son of Poseidon, Alexios, the son of Hephaestus, and Lathos. Well, Lathos kept his parentage to himself, and it was only later revealed that he is the son of Hades. As the group of demigods ventured further and further into this forest, they quickly discovered they were not the only ones in this area, for they stumbled into the territory of the Sisters of the Moon, an elite group of huntresses who swore allegiance to Artemis. The sisters were initially hostile towards our party, as they traditionally don't allow men on their sacred ground, but the undead horde had seemingly corrupted one of their own somehow, and they needed all the help they could get to try to fix her. It was here where our party met Anura, a non-binary purple tiefling with a strange mark on their arm that looks like a constantly moving constellation. While Anura was not a Sister of the Moon themselves, they had been staying with them for a while. The group, now plus Anura, managed to save the ill sister by basically knocking her out and healing her again, and then set back out to chase down that undead horde. And then they found them, right at the edge of the forest. The party saw the undead horde racing towards a mysterious figure wearing a green cloak, standing in the center of a complicated arcane ritual. As soon as this figure had the links in their hand, they began to chant, causing the links to separate and glow and awaken. Our heroes tried to stop the scene, but nothing they were doing seemed to have any real effect. That was until the mysterious figure saw Lathos. Suddenly, everything changed. The mysterious figure stopped the ritual, grabbed Lathos, and disappeared with him under the ground. In the absence of the mage, the links of Tartarus shot up into the sky and scattered themselves across Gaia. The one seemed to fall fairly close by. Now minus Lathos, but led by the direction of that falling link and a mysterious vision Adagio had, the group carried on, eventually finding themselves approaching the city of Delphi, a holy city of Apollo and home to his famed oracle. The group quickly found allies in powerful positions in Delphi, including Archpriest Phaeton, a fellow son of Apollo, who served as the head priest in Apollo's temple in the city, and Odella the Wise, a no-nonsense elven monk who runs a school in Delphi that trains people to potentially earn an audience with the oracle. But audiences with the oracle are no simple thing. You have to be summoned by the Mouth, essentially the oracle's liaison, and then undergo what they call the Gauntlet of Valor, a series of complicated tests and puzzles to prove your worth to the oracle. The party learned that Odella and Phaeton had actually undergone their gauntlet together some 80 years ago, and the oracle had warned them of an incoming dragon attack. This attack would eventually become known as the Devastation, due to the immense amount of damage the city took that day. But, due primarily to the oracle's warning, Odella, Phaeton, and their allies were able to defeat the dragon and save the day. Now, due to Adagio's vision, the party had reason to believe that they could be summoned to undergo the gauntlet, and they wanted to be prepared. Along with Phaeton and Odella, they met with other powerful figures of the city, chief among them Archmage Nadar, the black dragonborn sorcerer who controlled the arcane district of the city. Nadar investigated the bizarre ritual the group had seen, and told them that, to his knowledge, the spell was ancient, unfamiliar to him, and almost unmistakably incomplete. But all their interactions with Archmage Nadar were very transactionary. Any information they wanted would cost them. And what Nadar seemed to want more than anything else was information about the Oracle and the Gauntlet of Valor. Ryujin, who believed Nadar could help him find answers to a mystery from his past, agreed to tell him everything about the Gauntlet if he was indeed summoned to go. The party also met with scribe mage Nicolas Keen-Eye, an old human man with a keen eye for young arcane talent, who posited to the group that he believed Archmage Nadar could be a fraud. After all, Keen-Eye had never seen Nadar perform sufficiently powerful magic for his position, and he often asked Keen-Eye for spell scrolls for powerful spells. But before the party could find answers, the Mouth came. But the interesting thing about Gauntleteer parties is that they always have 5 members, and without Lathos, they only had 4. That was, until the Mouth also summoned Ilmay, a naturally quick, pale girl with dark clothing who they found roaming the streets of the city. She was quiet, didn't like to talk about herself much, but went with the group, and before you know it, all 5 were entering the gauntlet. After a series of intense, complicated tests and puzzles that culminated in a labyrinth that was home to a minotaur, Anura fell in battle. But the remaining 4 earned their audience with the Oracle. She told them a great many things. Chief among them was their importance on a cosmic scale in this quest to find the links of Tartarus. She warned them that the first link, the link of Mnemosyne, had already found a host, and together they were going to wreak havoc on Delphi. The blood of Asundal, the ancient dragon that had almost destroyed Delphi generations prior, still lived and sought revenge. The oracle also mentioned a figure called the Sculptor in the Swamp, and said that she was a powerful ally of darkness, and defeating her would be a huge blow to their enemy. When they returned from the gauntlet, they convinced Archpriest Phaeton to bring Anura back to life, and then set out to find the Sculptor in the Swamp. They discovered that the name was a reference to an old song written about the swamp just north of the city. The description in the song made the party believe that this sculptor could be a Medusa, but an exceptionally powerful old one. So they set off for the swamp, eventually found and killed the Medusa, who had some sort of ability to suck the life out of her petrified victims. They took her head and found a series of letters in the cottage, letters that laid out a plan of attack on Delphi, an overwhelming siege on the city that would distract from the real goal of the day, the assassinations of Archpriest Phaeton, Odella the Wise, and the Lord of Delphi, Pythonus himself, all in the service of revenge and in search of a powerful artifact, a mysterious thing that could help awaken Tiamat, the Dragon Queen. The language of the letters made the party seriously suspect Archmage Nadar could be the one behind this attack, but they had no concrete proof. Near this cottage, the party also found a mysterious cave that they quickly discovered was the abandoned lair of Asundal the Devastator. Her hoard was still there, as was a tear in reality, a portal that led to the swamp plane. While the party briefly explored this portal, they quickly discovered that they would almost certainly die if they pursued it any further, and ran back to Delphi to warn Phaeton, Odella, and the Lord of the assassination plots. Phaeton was able to match the handwriting from the letters to Archmage Nadar, essentially confirming that he was some sort of dragon in disguise. But Nadar was still insistent about Ryujin holding up his end of the deal. So, Phaeton, upon realizing that he was almost certainly looking for information that would help him assassinate the Oracle as well, told Ryujin to feed Nadar completely incorrect information. And it worked! Nadar believed the deception. But, as they quickly learned from Scribe Mage Kenai, he somehow was able to find the information another way, the correct information. Preparing for an incoming attack on multiple fronts, all the powerful mages and fighters in Delphi split up and tried to defend as many areas of the city as possible. Our party split up as well, trying to both protect the city and the assassination targets. But it wasn't that easy. When they woke up the next morning, they saw the sun was stuck in the high noon position in the sky, unmoving, as if Apollo himself were looking down on them. The entire city took it as a sign. Whatever was about to happen, today was the day it was going to start. Just not quite how they expected. In a powerful move that started the fight, Archmage Nadar, now in his true Black Dragon form, used the Link of Mnemosyne in a citywide psychic attack that made everyone relive moments of their traumatic history. Then, a wave of baby dragons burst forth from the river in the center of town and caused mayhem around the city. At the same time, some of our party members stopped the assassination of Odella the Wise, discovering her assassin to be the Anvilarm, another powerful figure in Delphi who runs the Artisans district and seemed to be on the payroll of Archmage Nadar. But they were too late to stop the assassination of Archpriest Phaeton. For when he took a significant amount of damage from the dragons, Sunman Karo, his right-hand man, gave him a powerful poison disguised as a healing potion, killing him. Karo was quickly restrained, but it became increasingly clear that some enchantment had been broken as he became horrified at what he had done. Just then, a figure made of pure light shot down from the sun itself into the city below. Laothis, champion and son of Apollo, the once and future king of Delphi. He appeared on the battlefield, took Phaeton into his arms, and expressed that Phaeton would now serve in death as Apollo's champion, before they both disappeared into pure light. Knowing that the fight was not yet over, the party reconvened in the front of the Lord's mansion to try to stop Nadar, or rather, Aruxal, son of Asundar. By the time they caught up with the dragon, he had Lord Pythonus as his hostage. But after an intense, deadly fight, our party emerged victorious. The dragon was slain, and Delphi was saved. And that's basically what's happened. The city has been partially destroyed, but is overall still standing. There have been some casualties, some serious ones, but overall, it's a joyous day. The party managed to take the Link of Tartarus and seal it in a magic-dampening box called Bloodglass, but they don't know what to do with it next. All they know is that they've just announced themselves to the world as heroes to pay attention to. Want to find out what happens next? So do I. So join us on Monday, every Monday, on twitch.tv/Drachmae and Demigods. See you soon.